Everyone, now I'm going to show you how to make Flappy Bird a popular game during the 20s, during the 2010s, where people used to play this game. So this game is quite a big, requires much more code, and it uses much more of physics, basically mainly of gravity and the world which will be rotating forever, but the background will be still. So for this code we'll be using two libraries, push and class. So till here we will just talk about this later. And this is require bird and require pipe and pipe pair. So bird is for the bird and pipe is for drawing the pipes, and pipe pair is for generating two pipes simultaneously. So as usual, window underscore height and window underscore width were the same as previous video, but virtual underscore width and height are different. So background scroll is a local variable which is only for meant for this file, and local ground scroll is only meant for this file. Even background underscore scroll underscore speed is meant for this file, and ground underscore scroll underscore speed and background underscore looping underscore point is meant for this file. So scrolling is equal to true, which will enable how the scrolling. And here allowed our graphics set default filter nearest comma nearest, which will help the game to run with the proper filter, and random seed os.time, which will randomly generate a new seed just like in Pong. And then there's love.window.set title 50 bird, but if you want you can even change it to Flappy Bird. So now I changed to Flappy Bird, and now small font is equal to love.graphics.new font.ttf. Medium font is equal to flappy.ttf. Flappy font is equal to love.graphics.new flappy.ttf. And huge font is uses flappy.ttf. So G textures is equal to the background texture background.png, ground texture ground.png, bird texture bird.png, pipe is equal to pipe.png, gold silver.png, bronze.png are all for these. The last three textures are all meant for the um, medal system which is implemented in this. And G sound is for the game. So if you want you can even add a background sound with a few changes, such as so that if you want you can even add some changes to make the background sound by importing different sound. So for now I'm not using the background sound, because if I use the background sound it will be too hard to hear. And vsync is equal to true, full screen is equal to true, resizable is equal to true. Push dot setup screen uh, will set up the screen as usual. And then there's G state machine, which I'll later on explain. Then there's love.keyboard.keypressed, which will start a new table for the key pressed. And then there's love.mouse.button pressed for the mouse input. So function love.resize, as usual you might remember the same code. And then there is function love.keypressed key. If love.keyboard.keypressed key is equal to true, if key is equal to the escape, then love.event.quit. Then Love 2D callback fired each time when a mouse button is pressed gives us the X and Y of the mouse as well as the button in question. And then there is function love.keyboard dot was pressed key will return love dot keyboard dot key pressed key which will return the keyboard key pressed which the key which you pressed. Then there is equivalent to then there is um, another return which was button pressed button for the mouse button. And then there is love dot update which will update the game if scrolling, then wherein we have written scrolling is equal to true. Here if scrolling is true, then background scroll is equal to background scroll plus background underscore scroll underscore speed multiplied by dt percentage background underscore looping underscore point. So this percentage is will just help us to find the remaining value, more like modulus. And then there's g state machine colon update dt love dot keyboard dot key pressed is equal to at a new table, an empty table. And then there is love dot draw push dot start. And then there is love dot graphics dot draw g textures background comma my negative background scroll comma 0. And then there is g state machine, which I'll later on explain. Is love dot graphics dot draw ground negative ground scroll virtual underscore height minus 16. Then there's push dot finish. So this code is complete. And now if we go to pipe dot lua, pipe is a class, pipe is equal to class which is a library, and which you know as the library. It will just create it can be used into the main.lua. Then there's initialization, and there's also nothing in pipe colon update because the update code is there is written down in pipe per lua because we will be drawing two pipes. And lambda graphics dot draw g textures pipe self dot x self dot orientation is equal to top, and self dot y is equal to self dot y uh, plus pipe underscore height, or self dot y comma 0 comma 1 comma self dot orientation is equal to top and minus 1 or 1. So in pipe pair dot lua, there is pipe pair is equal to class, and then there's function pipe pair init initialize y as the parameter. Then there is self dot pipes upper is equal to pipe, which will import it from this pipe file, pipe top comma self dot y. Then there's lower is equal to pipe bottom comma self dot y plus pipe underscore height plus gap underscore height. So gap underscore height is a local value. And then there is self dot remove is equal to false, which will not yet remove the pipe after the Flappy Bird crosses those pipes. Then there's self function pipe pair colon update, which will update the pipe pairs. And then there's render. So pipe colon render will use the pipe dot lua file, which from here. And then there is uh, bird dot lua, which was supposed to be right here. And this is bird dot lua, and bird is also like a class. And then there's local gravity is equal to 980 because 980 is the average gravity on earth, which is 9.8 newtons. So here we have kept it as 980. And then this function bird colon init, which is initialization. Self dot image is equal to g textures bird from main dot lua. And then there is self dot width is equal to self dot image colon get width. And then self dot height self dot image colon get height. Function bird colon collides pipe. If self dot x plus 2 plus self dot width minus 4 is greater than or equal to pipe dot x and self dot x plus 2 is lesser than or equal to pipe dot x plus pipe underscore width, then if self dot y plus 2 plus self dot height minus 4 minus 4 is greater than or equal to pipe dot y and self dot y uh, and self dot y plus 2 is lesser than or equal to pipe dot y plus pipe underscore height, then it will return true. If both are false, if this full conditional block is false, it will return false. Then this bird colon update is the gravity code, which will love dot keyboard dot press was pressed space or love dot mouse dot was pressed 1. Then um, then self dot dy is equal to minus 200, which is the cancel, which will cancel the gravity pull, and it will play the jump sound, and then it will draw the bird. So then the bird is completed, the pipe is completed, pipe pair 2. So now we will be moving on to state machine. So state machine is equal to class, which is for states. So state machine helps us to make different states using this game. So now, right now there is nothing much, like if you click if you want to pause, it will take us to the pause state. If it is at the beginning, at the starting state, it'll show plus press and space to play, and countdown state is like the timer, like if you wait for 3 seconds, the game will start, and then in score state will keep incrementing the score. Function state machine colon init will initialize. So self dot empty is equal to render is equal to function end, which will just do nothing but an empty function. Update is equal to function end, which can be declared as a, so render works like is render is assigned with a word called function with nothing but end, and then the self dot states is equal to states or a table. Self dot current is equal to self dot empty. Then there's a word called assert, which will assert the states to the state name, and then self dot current will be exited and moved to the self dot states right here to the state name function. Then there is base state, which will create the basic state. So if you know Django, there will be for making a HTML page, there will be something called layout.html, which can be used as a base file for other HTML files. So here just like that, this is a layout for the other states. So then this is the layout for these 4 files. Instead of writing these all again and again, you can just do it like this. And now if we go to our title screen state, you can see it is it will show the it will include a state which is called base state. So class will include, and to include another live file, we should type in class underscore underscore includes and is equal to base state. So in this file there's nothing in initialization, because we have already in this base state. Then there's function title screen colon update dt. If love dot keyboard dot was pressed enter or love dot keyboard was pressed return, then g state dot colon machine change countdown. Then this is for render, and then there is play state. Oh no, we should go to countdown state first. Then in countdown state, here we have kept the countdown time to 0.75 for some for some for adjusting the timings. So then there is self dot count is equal to 3, self dot timer is equal to 0, function countdown state colon update dt delta time, self dot timer is equal to self dot timer plus dt delta time. If self dot timer is greater than countdown underscore time, then self dot timer is equal to self dot timer modulus countdown underscore time. So this will find out the remainder of the division. So if the value is greater than countdown underscore time, then it will perform this and it will decrement the count. If self dot count is equal to 0, then it will change the game state to play. Then function countdown state render, it will render it in a huge font with the allocation of the text. So this is the play state, and there is play state is equal to class underscore includes play state, pipe underscore speed, pipe underscore width, pipe underscore height, bird underscore width, bird underscore height. So pipe underscore speed is to define the speed of the generation of pipes. And then there is self dot bird is equal to bird, self dot pipe is an empty table, and then the self dot timer is equal to 0. Then the self dot spawn time is equal to mat dot random 15 comma 50 by 10. Self dot pause is equal to false. Self dot last y is equal to minus negative pipe underscore height is plus math dot random 80 plus 20. Then function play state colon update dt self dot timer is equal to self dot timer plus dt. Then if self dot timer is greater than self dot spawn time, then self dot spawn interval is equal to mat dot random 15 comma 30 by 10. Then local y is equal to mat dot max, and this will help us to find the help us to create the y axis. Then there is if love dot keyboard dot was pressed p, then it will pause the game. If self dot paused, then return. So this will not do anything but just return, it will just keep continuing itself. If for k pair comma pair in pairs, self dot pipe pairs do. If not pipe pairs pipe pairs if not if pipe pair dot x plus pipe underscore width is lesser than self dot bird dot x, then self dot score is equal to self dot score plus 1. Then it will play the g sounds of score with the playing noise. So if we hit if the pipe is touching, then it will play the hurt sound. And then this is just for drawing the just for removing the pipe. Then there is update for the bird, which will update it once it crosses the once it crosses to a pair of pipes. If it touches, then it will make the noise of the explosion and hurt. Then this is for render, wherein the game will be rendered in this manner. If self dot pause, then love dot graphics dot set color 0 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0.5, which is pure black but little bit less transparent, which is half. If you want, you can change the background to your wish. And then there is function play state colon enter score rolling is equal to true. Function play state colon exit will make the scrolling to false. So now if I run the game, So now you can see the game has started, and right now my you can't see the other side of the screen. So now if I hit enter, you can see the countdown begins, and then the Flappy Bird noise begins. So you can see the score increment as it passes, and then there's this bronze medal system. So if you go beyond the beyond a certain limit, you'll get this particular medal, which I'll show you later on. So now if I go to my uh, oh yeah, I guess it's there in the in the play state, or in the main.lua. So in main.lua, it's too hard to remember, but I guess it's there. It works though. Maybe it's in score state. Yeah, it's in score state. So in score state, it'll be in it'll set the image of the image based on the score we make, and the label. So yeah, later on I will explain how to make Breakout a game using this 2D gaming. So thank you.